Here is a slightly different incident which illustrates the depth of Bhagavan's grace, how it works in different ways, the inspiration he passes on to people. Once, an Australian, some 3 or 4 years back, one Robert Fashion had come here to the ashram. He met me, and then we were talking about Bhagavan and his experiences. He told me he used to come in the early 80s to Sanadi Street for Bhagavan's darshan. Though he was devoted to J. Krishnamurti and his ideas, he was also drawn by Yogi Ram Saratkumar. And the first time when he came, Swami asked him, "What are you doing?" Immediately he said, "I am working in the planning department of the railways in Australia." And immediately Bhagavan said, "Oh, planning new railways?" Which came as a blow to him because he was only rationalizing the many already existing railways, but not trying to find new ones. And suddenly it struck him, that is why he found it very uninteresting, that he should be more involved in finding new ways to improve, to develop the department. So just see one casual word, new, which is no casual word at all, coming from Bhagavan, how it inspired him and gave him the forward momentum to go ahead in his field. And then another time he said he had come with his 5-year-old daughter for darshan, and she, with great love and expectation, had brought a packet of some Australian brand cigarettes and matchboxes. When she offered them, this little girl of 5 years, Bhagavan smiled and said, "Oh, this beggar cannot smoke this particular brand." But then, though she was taken aback, she managed very well. With courage, she said, "Oh yes, but you can accept the matchboxes?" Bhagavan smiled again and accepted it. And not only that, the girl had the spirit immediately to run away, find a local shop, and exchange this for the local brand, and immediately brought it to him. What a spirit! How many children would do this? And today, Bhagavan, of course, blessed her so much, appreciating her spirit. And today, she is a lawyer in Australia, fighting for the rights of the indigenous, the aborigines, the native people of Australia. They are called Kuris. And there, the government and also the colony people, the Western people who colonized the whole place, had taken away, confiscated the lands that belonged to these native people. The father would hand over the land to his son, traditionally, but those traditional lands that were to go to their sons, the descendants, were all confiscated, taken away by the government. The injustice done to them. Now she is fighting for that, to bring justice to these people so that the sons will take over the father's land. Just see how a simple incident had led to such a great inspiration. And again, he said that when he was coming to the ashram and he found a new ashram, and then Bhagavan was giving darshan in the dining hall, he joined the crowd and sat there, though he could not go near. At the time he was also very stressed because so many things had happened in his life. He was very disturbed when he came to Swami to find some relief. And Swami was blessing everyone who went near him. Swami was pronouncing, "My father's blessing to you, my father's blessing to you." To everyone who came with a different desire, a different prayer, the same thing he kept repeating, my father's blessing. And suddenly, by the grace of Bhagavan, it struck him that Swami is not only giving his blessing for the prayers of those people who are approaching him, he is also saying indirectly, whatever has happened is only Father's blessing. Just see the interpretation that he put upon it. How many of us could get this kind of interpretation? Yogiji used to say that people, the closer you get to God, the higher will be the interpretation you put upon situations, events of life. So a high interpretation struck him as the truth. And then he was able to reconcile to whatever happened as a blessing from God. I thought it was a wonderful thing. It's so easy to get a blessing and be very happy that things are going to work out. But how many of us truly understand the import behind Bhagavan's words? He takes some special preparation of mind. And then the last time he met him, Bhagavan was talking about Australian politics. And then he said he knew even then that Bhagavan was blessing them in some way. And later, in 2008, the Prime Minister of Australia apologized. He made a public apology in front of the world, the watching world, for the treatment meted out to the indigenous people of Australia. He said, this could not have happened but for our Swami's assurance. My father would take care of all the problems. Because a Maori from New Zealand had come once, and he was crying so much to Bhagavan. I happened to be there, and he was relating all his problems there, how they were getting treated by the government and other people. And Bhagavan raised both his hands, blessed him, saying that my father would see to it, my father would take care of you people. And so this Australian, Robert, recalled that and said, Ma, this is definitely Bhagavan's blessing that the Kuris of Australia and the Maoris of New Zealand, they are being taken care of by Father, truly by Father, as Bhagavan promised. So, from this incident, we understand that Bhagavan gives blessings. Okay, Bhagavan was physically giving blessings to people, which many understood immediately, but there were also people who could go beyond this physical blessing and find the truth of his statements also in their own experiences of life. So to such a Bhagavan who could casually say a word with so much depth of meaning in it, passing it on as a blessing, we shall pray to him, to such a one,